Hi developers, welcome to the ultimate tutorial where you will learn to build an e-commerce website using React.js. So in this tutorial, we're going to go through the step-by-step process of building a very simple and stunning e-commerce website using React. So this is all we're going to build right here. So this is the home page. This is what the user is going to see when they visit the page. So we'll start by building the navigation bar, which is going to be fixed. So no matter how the user scrolls, the navigation bar will remain fixed in all pages. So right here we have the logo, we have the links, then we have icon. So we have the cart icon with a cart count and also the user icon. Next, we're going to build this stunning hero section here. We'll build this left side here and we'll also build the right side that's displaying the product image that we're trying to sell to our users. Then we're going to build our product list. So this is all the products that we want to showcase to our users. So we'll have this at our elegant collection. They will build a product card for each of the products. So in each card, we have several cards here. In each card, we'll have an image, the name of the product, the price, and a call to action button telling the user to add to cart if they are comfortable with the product. So we have this image right here. And when you hover on the image, it's going to expand a little. So we have an image here. We have the title, we'll have the price, and we have the call to action button. So it's the same for every other thing. So these are all the products that we're trying to showcase to our user. Then we're going to build our footer. So this is going to be a very, very simple footer. Also, in this e-commerce website, the user will be able to add to cart. So if I click on add to cart now, you can see that our cart count has changed. If I add this to cart as well, you can see that we have 2 items in the cart. If I click on add to cart, we have 3 items in the cart. If I click on add to cart, we have 4 items in the cart. Now if I click on this cart icon, it's going to redirect me to the cart page. So I'll click on this now and you can see right here that we're on the cart page. So right here on our cart page, we have the navigation bar and also we have our footer. Okay, so this is what we have. This is what we have in the cart page. We have the carts display and the cart summary. So on the left side, we have the shopping cart. We have the number of items that we have in the cart, which is 4. We have this icon to delete the entire cart. Okay, then we have the product description, quantity, price, and total. So this is the image of the products that were added to our cart. This is the title. We have an icon as well to remove this product, this specific product from cart. Then we have the quantity control here where we can increase. You can see now this has changed. We can increase and we can decrease quantity of products in our cart. So right here we have the price and we have the total. Okay, so this is $45 and the total here is $45 because the quantity here is 1. So if I increase this quantity now, you can see that we have $90 as our total. The price is 45. We have 2 items right here and the total is $90. If I increase this to 3, you can see that the price has changed to $135. The number of items is also reflecting that we have 6 items in the cart. Okay, so this is 3 items, 1, 1, 1. That makes it 6 items. Okay, and I can do the same thing here. If I increase this as well, the price is going to change. The number of items as well is going to change, and it's also going to reflect right here. We have items 7, subtotal is 315. Shipping in this case is free, and we have our total cost right here to be $315. So if you sum up 135, 90, 45, 45, it's going to give us $315. So we're going to learn to build all of this now. So if I click on this icon, that product has been removed instantly and you can see that it's reflected in our items here that we have 4 items in the cart. We have 2, 1, 1. That makes it 4 items. Okay, and if I click on this icon that we have here, the entire item in our cart will be deleted. So I'm going to click on it now and you can see that we're getting this message, your cart is empty. So back to our home page, this is what we're going to learn to build. Also, you're going to learn to view the product description. So if I click on the image, it's going to lead me to the product description page, and right there you can see the URL has changed a bit. We have the product here and we have the ID of the product, which is 4. This is the 4th product that we have. So on the product description page, you're going to have the image of the product, then we're going to have description of the product and also an add to cart button. So if I click on add to cart here, you can see that this item has been added to our cart. So back to our own page, let's say we want to view this product. You can view the product by either clicking on the image or the name of the product. So I'm going to click on the name of the product and this is what we have right here. So if you've noticed, for all the pages that we've checked, the cart page and also the product description page, the navigation bar and the footer is present in all of the pages. So we're going to learn how to build navigation bars that will be present in all pages. So right here, this is an image of the product that we're trying to view, and you can see here that this is the second product. I'll click on add to cart as well, and it has reflected here that we have two cart items. So this is the first product. If I click on this, you can see right here that this is the first product. The ID is 1. Okay, so I'm going to add this to cart as well. So let's say we want to view another product. This is the 6th product that we have. If I click on this, okay, this is the 8th product that we have. Okay, we have the image of the product, we have the name, the price, a little description here, and a button to add to cart. So back to our cart page, this is what we have. You can see we can increase, it's going to reflect in the total, it reflects in the number of items, it reflects in our total cost. If I increase more, you can increase and decrease as you like. So this is all we're going to be building in this tutorial. So let's get started. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please do it to hit that subscribe button. Subscribe, like, share, drop a comment on what you think of this project and also what you want me to build next. So let's get to the project. So you're going to open any code editor of your choice. I want to believe that whoever is watching this tutorial has a basic knowledge of React. So we're going to continue. If you do not have any basic knowledge of React, please do well to know one or two things about React. So right here, you're going to click on new terminal. We're going to be building our project folder in the terminal. So in the terminal, we're going to change directory to our desktop. Then I'll change directory to a folder where I create all my YouTube projects. Then you're going to run this command: npm create vit at latest headphone e-commerce templates React. Then you press enter. Then you're going to change directory to the project headphone e-commerce, and now you're going to run this npm install to install React. So now that we have successfully installed React, we'll click on file, click on open folder, and then you navigate to desktop. Then you open the folder where you created the project. So here is the project headphone e-commerce. Select the project, select folder, and open it in VS Code. So here it is, we have installed everything we need. So now we're going to check this React app on our local browser. So right here on our terminal, we're going to run this command: npm run dev, press enter. So now you're going to hover on the link. So you click on follow link. And right here, this is what we have. This is the default React app. Our button is working. And right here in our source folder, app.gsx, let me reduce this terminal right here. We can change this h1 text. So I'm going to change this to subscribe to my channel. Right here, you're going to see this text: subscribe to my channel. So guys, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Now the next step is to do some cleanups. So we're going to delete everything that we have here. Ctrl A, delete, and we use refc to create React snippets. So this is what we have. To use this refc, you need to have this extension. You need to have this extension, ex7 React Redux React Native extension. So do well to install the extension. Back to our projects, I'm going to delete app.css. Delete this. Then for our index.css as well, I'll delete the entire thing. So here we'll set the margin to 0, and we'll set padding to 0 as well. Then for our index.html, this is ShopX. That is the name of the store, the e-commerce store that we're building. So I'll close this. So now this is what we should have on the page, just up. And we can change the text as well from here. Subscribe to Zullyblog. And we're going to see that the text has changed here as well. Subscribe to Zullyblog. So guys, don't forget to subscribe. Next thing we need to do now is to install React Router DOM and React Icon. We're installing React Router DOM so that we'll be able to navigate between pages, the carts page and the product details page. And we're installing React Icons because we're going to be using icons in this project. So here, we're going to search for React Icons, the npm package, and also React Router DOM. So now, when you're on this website, copy the installation code, and then we'll head over here. We'll paste it on our terminal. Our terminal is currently running, so we'll stop it from running. Ctrl C, then type in Y to terminate the job. Then I'm going to paste this to install React Icon. Then for React Router DOM as well, I'll do the same thing. Copy the installation code right here. So I'll paste this here as well for React Router DOM. So while React Router DOM is installing, in our source folder, we're going to create a folder and I'm going to name it components. I would create another folder. I would name it pages. Then I'll create another file and I'm going to name it data.gsx. So this is where all our product data is going to be. I've created an array of objects, so I'm just going to paste it right here. So we're going to go through it together. So this is I imported all the images. So let's paste all our images in our asset folder. So this is a picture of all the images that we're going to use for this project. So I'm going to copy each and every one of them and I'll paste it in the asset folder. Yes, replace. So we have all images here and I have done this already. I've imported every single one of them. Then this is our array of objects for each of our products that we want to display in the product list. So this is the first product here. We have the ID, the image, the title, the price, the category, and the description. Okay, so we have several objects representing a product in this data file. So this is the data file that we're going to use later on in the tutorial when we want to build our product card. Okay, so now that this is done, next thing we're going to do now, in our component, we're going to create the folders for each component that we want to have. We're going to have our navbar. Then in the components as well, we're going to have our hero. And the components, we're going to have the footer. We're going to have the carts. We're going to have the product lists. And we're going to have our shop context. And for the pages, we're going to have the home page. And also, we're going to have our product details page. So product details. So for each of this folder that we've created, except the shop context, we're going to create the JSX and CSS file for each of them. So I'm going to start with the navbar. So we're going to have navbar.gsx, RAFC, to create React snippets. Press enter, then we're going to create the CSS file, navbar.css. So we're going to do the same for the cards, the footer, the hero, product list, home page, and product details. So I'm going to pause this video now and I'm going to do that off camera. So now that we've successfully installed React Icon and React Router DOM, we're going to check package log.json to confirm. This is the name of our project, this is the version, these are the dependencies that we've installed now. We have React installed, React DOM by default, then we have React Icons, which is what we just installed now, and React Router DOM, which is the last thing that we installed. Okay, so this is what we need now to get on with our projects. So the first step now is to set up our routes. So first in our main.gsx, we're going to wrap our application with React Router DOM with browser router. So I'm going to delete this strict mode that we have right here and we'll turn this into a comment. Just click on the line, then Ctrl// is going to turn that into a comment. So right here, first we need to import browser router from React Router DOM. Then we're going to have the browser router here. Then press enter. Now I'm going to cut this, Ctrl X, and I'm going to paste it in between browser router. So we've wrapped our application with browser router so that we can navigate between pages. Now we're going to set up our route. So in our application, we're going to start with, we'll render navbar first because we want it to be present in all pages, not just the home page. So here I'm going to have navbar. I'll close this, and also we're going to have footer because we want it to be present in all pages. It should be at the bottom of all the pages. Then our home page will be in between the navbar and the footer, and every other pages that's going to come in. So right here, we'll set up routes, close this, routes. So before anything, I need to import routes. So here, import routes from React Router DOM, and routes as well without an S. So right here, we're going to have routes, and we'll set the path. So the path for this is /, and the components we want to render is our home page. So here we're going to have the home page. We'll close this home page right here. Then we'll close the route tag as well. After this route, after the route to the home page, we'll set up another route for our product details, and this is going to be a dynamic route because we want to access each product details by their ID. So we're going to have routes without an S. We'll set the path. This is /product/ ID. So we want to access each of this, the product details page, by the ID. Now the elements here would be for product details. So I'm going to render the product details page in here. We'll close this, and we'll close this as well. Then we're going to set up the route for the cart page. So we're going to have routes. We'll set up our path /cart elements. We'll render the cart page, and I'm going to close this route here. Okay, now that we've done this, we need to import all the components and pages that we just rendered. So I'm going to import navbar from ./component/ navbar /navbar. We have the navigation, we have the footer. So I'm just going to copy this. Then I'm going to paste it here. So instead of having navbar, I'll highlight this navbar here. Then Ctrl D. Then I'll type in footer. Since they have the same parts, they are both in the component folder. So that is for that. The cart page is also in the component folder. So I'm going to paste where I copied before. Highlight this, then Ctrl D. This is going to take carts. Then we have the product details and the home page, and both of them are in pages. So this is going to be import home page from ./pages/home page. I'm going to copy this and paste again. Now I'm going to replace the second one with product details. Ctrl D. So this is going to be product details. Okay, this product details that we have here. Okay, so we're done with setting up our routes. So now let's view this on our local browser. Npm run dev. Remember, we terminated our application from running the other time, so now we need to run the application. Npm run dev. Press enter. Okay, so right here we'll go over on this, click on follow link. I'll close this. Now you can see what we have: our navigation bar, then the home page, then the footer. So the navigation bar will be present in all pages, the footer as well, then we'll have the home page. So now we're going to close our app file and we'll start building the navbar. So first we need to import our CSS file. So we're going to import ./navbar.css. Okay, so right here in our navigation bar, we'll create the div tag with a class name of navbar, so .navbar. Press enter. In this div tag, we're going to have 3 div tags. The first one will be for logo. The second div tag would be for links, and the third div tag will be our icon wrapper. So we have _icon_wrapper. So in the logo div, we're going to have an h2 tag with our logo, and it's going to take this text shop X. Then for the links, we're going to have an ordered list. and 4 list items. First will be home, second list item will be products, third list item will be contacts, and lastly we're going to have app. Then for our nav icon wrapper, we're going to have the want to have an icon for cart and another icon for user. So right here we're going to have cart. I'm going to type in cart because we have installed React icons. React is going to suggest a list of icons that matches with this text cart. So we're going to be using this first icon here, and you can see that it has been imported right here. So let me reduce this. Now I'm going to close this. Then we need the user icon as well. So here, user. I'm going to type in user. Then I'm going to use this first icon right here. And this has also been imported from React icons. Okay, so in the cut icon, we don't just need the icon alone, we need the quantity. So right here, I'm going to cut this, Ctrl X. Then I'll have a div tag with a class name of navcarts. Inside the div tag, I'm going to paste what I just cut. Then we'll have a p tag. Then we'll initialize the quantity with 0. So on the cart, the quantity by default is going to be 0. We're going to change it later when we write the code to get the quantity amount. Okay, so for the cart as well, for the icon, we're going to have nav icon as the class name. So I'm going to copy this and I'll come paste it here because that's the same thing that we're using. Okay, now also want to ensure that this cart, the entire div tag here, if we click on the cart icon, it should lead us to our cart page. So we're going to use the link tag from React Router DOM. Link from React Router DOM to, this should lead us to /carts. Then I'm going to close this. I'm going to close this. Then in between these, I'll cut this. What I want to be in the middle, I'll cut the entire thing. And I'm going to paste it in between the link tag. Okay, so this entire div tag is going to lead us to our cart page, but there's something that you need to ensure. You need to ensure that your paths to the link matches with your route paths. Okay, so here the path here is /carts, and you can see that we have the same thing here, /carts. Okay, so this is the link. Ensure that React link from React Router DOM has also been imported as well. So this is what we have. Now let's see our navigation in our browser. So right now, this is what we can see. If I click on this, you can see here that we're on the cart page. This is what we have now. Okay. So if I click on back, we're on the home page. Home page right here. Also, we need to ensure that once the user click on the logo, it leads them back to the home page. So right here where we have the logo, we're going to use the link tag as well. Link to / press enter, and I'm going to cut this, Ctrl X, and I'm going to paste it in between this. So this is going to lead us to the home page. Just the same, the part is the same thing with this. So let's say we click on the cart, we're on the cart page right now. If I click on ShopX, we're back to the home page. You're going to see this properly when we have styled the page. So now let's style our navbar. So I'm going to close up the GSX. Now we're going to style the navbar. So we're going to open our CSS. Remember that we have imported it right here. I'm going to copy the class name, the first class name that we have, navbar. So right here we have dot navbar. Now we're going to set the padding to 30 pixels. We set padding inline to 80 pixels. Then display. We set it to flex. Justify content, space between. Then where we have the link, I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it right here. So dot navbar dot link UL, display will be flex, we'll set a gap of 20 pixels. That's navbar. That's links. Then for each of the list items as well, list style, we'll set this to none. The font size will be 18 pixels. The font weight will be 600. Text transform, we want to uppercase. So every text in that list item will be uppercase. Then we have the nav icon wrapper. I think that's the next thing. So we have this nav icon wrapper right here. Display will be flex. Then we have the nav icon. Before the nav icon, we have this nav cards right here. So here, display will be flex. Position will be relative. And we'll set the cursor to pointer. Then we have the p tag here. So I'm going to give this p tag a class name as cards quantity. So I'm going to style this as well. Dot cards quantity. I'm going to set the background color to red. Position will be absolute. Then right will be -8 pixels. I'll set the font size to 12 pixels. The height, set it to 20 pixels. The width as well will be 20 pixels. I'll set the border radius of 50%. Then the color, then display, set this to flex. Justify contents at the center. Align items at the center as well. Then we have the nav icon itself. I'm going to style this as well. So for the nav icon, we'll set the font size to 34 pixels. And then margin left, we'll take 35 pixels. So right now, this is what we have. But you can see that the links have, so if I click here now, it's leading us to the cart page. But if I click here, it's leading us back to the home page. You can see that the links have colors, like you can see right here. So we're going to remove this color. So for the entire link that will be in this project, index.css, I'm going to have the A tag, the anchor tag, text decoration, I'll set it to none, and the color will be black. So now we won't have any text underneath, and the color of any link on this project would be black. So now that we have our navigation bar, next thing is to work on our home page. And in the home page, we're going to start with our hero section first. So I'm going to close index.css, navbar, then I'm going to open the hero section. Okay, in our hero section, we're going to be using this image. We're going to use this image for our hero. So first, in hero, I need to import the image. Import, I'm going to name the image in this component hero image from // asset folder / the name of the image itself is hero1.png. Now let's build our hero. So I'm going to close this asset folder that we have here. Okay, highlight this and delete this. The first div tag, give it a class name of hero. Then in the hero, we're going to have hero contents. In our hero contents, we'll have two sides, the left and the right side. So that's hero left, that's hero right. In the left content, that's where we're going to have our text. So we'll have an h2 tag first, then we'll have a p tag followed by a button. For the h2 tag, it's going to take this text. Then for the p tag, It's going to take this text. Okay, then for our button as well, we're going to have this text, shop the collection. Okay, now for our hero rights is where we're going to have our image, and in the source we're going to replace this quote with a curly braces, then we'll have the hero image right here. So I'm going to give this import dot forward slash hero dot css for styling. Okay, so this is what we have in the hero section. Now our hero section is going to be in our home page, so I'm going to mount it right here in the home page. So right here I'm going to mount hero. So tab, we're going to get hero section, and it has imported here from components, from hero folder, then hero file. So right now this is what we have in the home page, but on the cards page we're not going to see the hero section there. We're not going to see the home page because this is another page entirely, but on the home page you're going to see the hero section. Now let's style what we have. So now we're going to style our hero.css. I'm going to close this home page, then we'll start by styling our hero itself. So we're not going to style this, we're going to style this hero content. So I'm going to copy this and then paste it here. So for hero content display reflex, set the padding in 9 or 100 pixels. Then we'll have a gap of 20 pixels between the left and the right hero section. Then justify content space between. Then we'll style the hero left section. For the hero left, max width will be 50%. Then margin top, take 120 pixels. Then we have the H2 tag and the P tag and the button. So the hero left H2. We'll set the font size to 65 pixels. Then the P tag dot hero left P tag. We're going to set margin top to 15 pixels. The font size to 20 pixels. We're going to set the color with this color code. Then we're going to have the button, the hero left button. For the button, we'll set the padding to 1.1 rem for the height and 3.5 rem for the width. We'll set the border to none, and the background color should be red. Then we'll set the text color to white. Margin top, we'll take 20 pixels, and the border radius will take 10 pixels. Then we have the hero right section for the image. For the hero right, we set the max width as well to 50%. Then we have the image dot hero right img tag. We're going to set the width to 640 pixels, the height to 570 pixels. Object feeds will be contain. Now let's see what we have. Okay, so this is the beauty that we've created now. Now the next step is our product display. We need to display our products. We need to create the product card for each of the products. So we're going to close the hero section now, and we're going to build our product list. So before we build the project list, we're going to create our product state in shop context. So think of shop context. Let me open it now. Shop context.gss. Think of shop context as your app global store for everything related to products and carts. So basically, since we have product lists, we're also going to have product details page and a cart page, and all of them needs to access the same products and cart data. So putting the states in a central shop context means that all our components can use and update data easily, and instead of passing product and cart data through multiple component level, you can access it directly from the context. whenever we need it. Also, having a centralized place to manage products and carts makes our code cleaner and easier to maintain. So we're going to be creating our product states in shop context and everything related to carts in shop context. Every logic, like actions like add to cart, remove from cart, get cart total, every single thing, like every single action will be in our shop context. So you just need to think of shop context as your global store for everything related to products and shopping carts. So let's get to that. So the first thing that we need to do is to first create our context. So I'm going to have const shop contexts will be equal to create contexts. And here I'm going to use exports because we're going to use the shop context in other parts of our application. So export shop context. Now we need to import React and also create context that we used just now from React. After this, we're going to import the shop data that we would need. So I'm going to import product data from our data file dot/data. So this is our data file here that I showed earlier, and this is what we want to use, product data. So avoid typo, just copy and we paste it. Now we're going to create the shop context provider. So const shop context provider. The function, that is what we want to create. So we'll have, and here we'll pass the children. Then I'll create the function right here. So after creating this, also we need to export the shop context provider. So here we're going to have export default shop context provider. So in the shop context provider function, we're going to return the values that we want to use in other application. We're going to return the values, which is going to be our states and the function. So right here, we're going to return shop context dot provider, close this bracket here, and in between this, I'm going to pass the children. And right here in the shop context of provider tag, we're going to provide the values here. So we're going to have this curly braces. This is where we're going to pass the values that we are going to use in other parts of our application. We're going to come back to this, but first we need to create our product states. So right here, we're going to have const, open our brackets, our square brackets, then we'll create the state variable that is going to hold the product data, products, and the setter function that will update it once there's any changes. Set products will be equals to use state. By default, we want it to have everything in our product data. So use states will be product data. And right here in the value, we're going to pass the states products. Okay, so now the next step is to wrap our application with shop context provider. So right here, we're going to have shop context provider, and we're going to wrap our entire application. So I'm going to cut this, highlight, Ctrl X, and we're going to paste this right here. So I'm just going to format the document. Okay, so we're wrapping our application with shop context provider so that the entire application can have access to the states and whatever logic we have in shop context provider. So now that we have this, we can now create our product list now. So I'm going to open the product list.gss. First, we're going to connect it with our CSS. So product list.css. Oh, Ctrl Z. All right. Now, first thing first, we need to access our product state from our shop context. So right here, we're going to have const. Open our curly braces. We want to get the products. So here, use context will be shop context. Okay, so this is what we have now. Then we can now create our product list. Now in the product list, we'll start with a div tag. I'll give it the class name of product underscore lists. In our product list div, we'll have an h2 tag with this text, our elegant collection. After this h2 tag, we'll have a div tag with the class name of product grid. In the product grid, we are going to map over the product states to display each product, and then we're going to destructure the product. So right here, open our curly braces, then let's map product dot map. Open our bracket, we'll pass products, open another bracket, product, then we'll create our function. So now we need to destructure our product. So const id, comma, image, title, and price will be equal to products. We are destructuring our products here because we want to have a cleaner code. So instead of when we want to return our product list, instead of having to write product.id, product.image, that product will be repeated multiple times, we're just going to write id image, and this makes our code easier to read and understand at a glance. So now we're going to return our product lists. So for each, we're going to return the product card. So this is the entire product list. Now we want to return the card, which is going to be in a grid format. So we'll have a div tag, and this div tag would be for a card. So in this div tag, we'll give it a class name of product card and also a key. So each card will have a key, pass the ID that will uniquely identify their properties. So in this div tag here, we are going to have our product image and product info. So right here, we're going to have our image, then we replace this with image. Because we have destructured here, we do not need to write product dot image, which is the regular way that people write it. So we're just going to have product. Right, we're going to have image. Then after this, we'll have another div tag for our product info, which is going to be our title and price. So dot product info. And the product info will have an h4 tag for title, and we'll have a p tag for price in dollars price. After this div, we're going to have our button to add to carts. Okay, so also we want to ensure that once the user clicks on the image and the product title, on the image and the product title and the price, they get to view the details of the product. So right here, we're going to use the link tag to link it with the product details page. Let me close this link tag right here. And I'm going to paste this, Ctrl X, in between the link tag. Ensure that the link tag has been imported so that you will not have any error. It has not here, so we're going to import link from React Router DOM. Then we can use the link tag now. So right here, we use our backtick slash product slash dollar sign, then a curly braces, product dot id. Then for this, we'll pass the key as well, and it's going to be products id. Okay, so if you notice, the part here is a bit different from the parts that we had in the navigation bar while we're creating the link to the cart page. So the part here has a dynamic part because we want to access a product based on their ID. In our app.jsx as well, we've done that here. We set the part for products and ID. So that is why we have these parts like this. So now let's mount our product list in our home page. So after the hero section, we're going to have the products lists. If we check the home page now, we should see all the product display. This is our header, our elegant collection. This is the first product right here. This is the name of the product, the price, and the button to add to cart. This is the next product that we have. This is another product here, the name, the price, the button. So these are all the products that we're displaying to our user right here. This is a little bit big, so we're going to style everything now so that you can see each of the card properly. And now if we ensure that if you click on the image or the name of the product, it will lead you to the product details page. So this is the first product. So if I click on this product now, you can see it has led us to the product details page, and you can see it in the URL that we are on the first product /product/id, which is the same thing that we have here, the same thing that we did here, /product/product.id, the same thing that we did, the same route, the same parts that we set here, product and the ID. Okay, if I go back now, click on the logo, it will lead us back to the home page. For the second product as well, let's click on the name and not the image this time around. If I click on the name, product details, and you can see that we're on product, and this is the second product. Okay, if we do the same for the third, I'm going to click on the image. This is the third product, this is product details page. Okay, so now let's style the cards so that we can see them in a more presentable way. So I'm going to close this out. I'll close the shop context, close the home page as well. Then we'll be left with our product details, product list. We've already imported the product list.css, so we're just going to style now. So now we'll start styling. So we'll start with our product lists. I'll copy this, then I'll come paste it here. Dot product list. We'll set the max width to 1200 pixels. Then we'll set our margin auto. Then we'll set the padding to 20 pixels. The texts align. We want all the text at the center, and the margin top will take 60 pixels. Then we have an h2 tag here. So dot product list h2. We'll set the margin bottom of this to 20 pixels. We'll set the font size to 2 rem, and then we'll set the color to this color code. Then we have the product grid. Copy this and paste it right here. Display here will be grid for the card. Then grid template columns. Repeat. Autofill. Comma. Min max will be 250 pixels 1 FR, and we'll set the gap between each of the card to 20 pixels. Then we have the product card. So we're going to style each of the cards. So for the product card, we'll set the background color to white. We'll have a border 1 pixel solid with this color code. Then we'll have a border radius of 8 pixels. And right here we have the image. So for the image, I'll give it a class name of product image. So I'm going to copy this class name and I'll paste it here. We'll have max width of 100%. The border radius will be 8 pixels as well. Margin bottom will be 10 pixels. We'll set the height to 250 pixels. Transform will be scale of 0.9, and we'll set transition for the transform property as well. So transform 0.2 seconds is in out. So if you hover on the product image, we're going to transform it on a scale of 1. Then we'll style the products info. So products info, we have H4 tag and P tag here. So I'm going to paste this H4. We'll set the font size to 1.2 rem. Then we'll have a margin of 10 pixels, 0.0 and 5 pixels. Then we'll set the color to this color code. Then for the P tag, we're going to have font size of 1 rem, and we'll have color of this color code. Then we have our button here, our add to cart button. I'll give it a class name of add to cart. I'll copy this class name that we have here, and then display here will be block. The width we set it to 100%. Padding we take 10 pixels. Background we take this color code. The color will be black. We'll have a border of 1 pixel solid and this color code. Then we'll have a border radius of 5 pixels. Cursor will be set to pointer, and the font size of the text will be set to 1 rem. Margin top will take 10 pixels, and then there will be transition on the background color. So background color 0.3 seconds is in out. Then if you hover on the add to cart, we're going to change the background color. So background color will take this color code. So this is what we have at the end of the day. If you hover on the image, you can see that it transforms, becomes bigger. And if you hover on the button, you can see that the color will change. We have our text here. Okay, so the price here is quite small, the font size. So let's increase this. So right here, we're going to set this to 1.5 rem, and we should see changes. Okay, so this is our product lists here. So the next thing that we need to work on now is adding items to our cart page. Right now our cart page is empty, so we need to work on adding items to cart page. So now we're going to close our product lists folder, and I'm going to open our shop context because we're going to have all the logic for adding to cart, removing from cart right here. So the first thing we need to do is to create our cart state, the state variable that will hold the cart, and a theta function to update the cart. Then also we need to create our quantity state and total price state. So right here we're going to have const cart and theta function set cart. Use state, by default we're going to set our cart to an empty array. Also we're going to have quantity const quantity theta function set quantity, and we're going to initialize our quantity with 0. Use state 0. Then we'll have total amount as well. Const total theta function set total. We'll initialize this as well with 0. So we're going to pass all the values here. Our cart states, we'll have it here, quantity and also the total. Okay, so after this now, we would calculate total price. So I'm going to have a comment here for total price. Calculate total price. Also, we would calculate the total number of items we have in the cart, which is going to be our quantity. So calculate quantity of items in cart. After this, we'll create a function to add to cart. So add items to cart. Then we're also going to create a function to remove item from cart. Then we're going to create a function to clear all the cart items. Function to clear the entire cart. Then we'll create a function to increase quantity. Function to increase item quantity in carts, and also function to decrease item quantity in carts. So we'd use let's start with calculating total price. We'd use the use effects hook to calculate our total price. So we'll create a function right here. The first step is to use the reduce method to calculate the total price. So we're going to create a variable that's going to store that const total be equal to cart dot reduce open brackets. Then we'll pass accumulator and the current item. Okay, so we'll convert the price to a number. So we're going to have const price as number be equal to, we'll convert it to a floating point number, pass floats, open brackets, current item dot price dot price. So if the price is not a number, we're going to skip invalid prices. So if it's not a number, price as a number. If it is not a number, then we'll return accumulator. If it is, after this if statement, we're going to add the price times quantity to the accumulator. So here we'll return accumulator plus price as number multiplied by our current item dot amount. And right here we're going to initiate the accumulator value with 0. So here I'm going to pass 0. After this, we're going to update our total state. So set total, pass total. Then we're going to pass cart as dependency array to ensure that this effect runs when the cart changes. So we're going to pass cart right here. So right now we just calculated the total price. First we use the reduce method to calculate the total. By using the reduce method, then we pass accumulator and current items as our parameter. Then we created a variable to hold price as a number, and we are converting the current item price to a number. Then we use an if statement to check. If price is not a number, return the accumulator, but if it is a number, they want to return accumulator plus price as number multiplied by the current items dot amount. Then we're updating our total state with the setter function set total, and here we passed cart as a dependency array to ensure that the effect runs whenever the cart changes. So the next thing we're going to do now is to calculate the quantity of items that we have in the cart whenever the cart changes. So that's the next step here. We use use effect as well. So use effects, create our function, The first step is to check if cart is not empty. Then we use the reduce method to sum up the quantities of all the items. Then we'll update the item amount. So if cart is available, then we'll have const amounts will be equal to cart dot reduce method. We'll pass accumulator and current item as parameter as well. We'll create our function right here. Then we're going to add the current item amount to the accumulator. So right here, we return accumulator plus current item dot amount. And right here, we're going to initialize our accumulator with 0. So we initialize the value with 0. Then we'll now update the total item amount state. So we'll set quantity with amount. Also, we'll pass cart here as dependency array to ensure that this effect runs whenever the cart changes. So now we've used use effect to calculate the quantity of items that we have in our cart. So the next thing now is to create the function to add the product to the cart. So I'm going to name the function add to cart, and we're going to pass the product and the ID as parameter. So we're going to have const add to cart will be equal to pass products and ID. So in this function, the first thing is to create a new item with the initial quantity of 0. Const new item will be equal to spread our products, comma, and initialize our amount with 1. So we're creating a new item with initial quantity of 1. Then we'll check if the product is already in the cart. We'll check if the ID matches with the item. So we do const cart item equal to cart dot find method, then we'll pass item. If the product is already in the cart, we want to return the item dot ID. We want to check the item that matches with the item that we want to add to the cart. After this, if the product is already in the cart, right here we're checking if the product is in the cart, then it should return the item that matches with that product ID. Now we'll use an if statement to check if the product is already in the cart. We're going to map over the cart to update the quantity of the existing item. So we'll use an if statement here. If cart item, then we'll map over the cart to update the quantity of the existing item. So we're going to have const new cart. We're going to have new carts will be equal to carts dot map. Then we'll pass item, and right here we're going to create our function here, and then we're going to check if the current item's ID matches the product ID, would increase the quantity. So if item.id equals ID, then I want to return, open the curly braces, item, comma, the amount of cart item dot amount, increase it by 1. So if otherwise, we use an else statement here. Else will return the item as it is, will return item. So what we did here basically is that we're mapping over the cart to update the quantity of the existing item if we have an existing item. If cart item exists, right here we're checking if there's any item in the cart at all. It should return the item ID that matches with the ID of the new cart item that we want to add, if it exists at all. So if it exists, right here we're using an if statement to check if the product already exists in the cart. Then we want to map over the cart to update the quantity of the existing item. Then we use an if statement here, if else statement. We're checking if the item ID matches with the product ID. We're increasing the quantity by 1. Otherwise, it should return the quantity, the item as it is. So the next thing now after this if statements, we use an else statement as well. Else, if the product is not in the cart, we want to add it to the cart. So we're going to set cart, then we'll spread our carts, comma, then we'll pass the new item. Also, we need to update the cart state with the updated quantities if it exists in the cart. So here we're going to set carts with new carts. Now that we have our function, we're going to add the function to the values that we want to use in other part of the application. So right here, the next thing now is to create a function to remove item from carts. I'm going to name the function remove from carts, and we're going to pass ID as the parameter because we want to remove a product from the cart based on ID. So we're going to have const remove from carts be equal to, we'll pass ID, then we'll create our function. So the first step is to filter out the products with the specified ID. We'll create a new cart for that. Const new cart will be equal to cart.filter method, open our brackets, then we'll pass the item and we'll create our function. So we'll keep only IDs we'll keep items whose IDs does not match. So we're going to return item.id that is not equal to the ID of the specific products that we want to remove. Then we're going to update the cart state with the new cart. So set carts with new cart. Then we'll copy this here and we'll paste it right here at the comma as well. Now we'll print the function to clear the entire cart. So to clear the entire cart, we just need to set the cart to an empty array. I'm going to name the function clear cart. So you're going to have const clear cart. So have no parameter. Now we're going to set the cart state with an empty array. Now I'm going to copy this now and also add it right here at the comma. And our very next step is to create the function to increase the quantity of item in the cart. So now we're going to create the function to increase item quantity in the cart. So I'm going to name the function increase amount. So we're going to have const increase amount. Then we'll pass ID as parameter because we want to increase a specific item amount in our cart. So the first step is to find the product in the cart by its ID. So I'm going to have const cart item will be equal to cart dot find. We'll pass item. Then we'll check for the item dot ID that matches with the item that wants to increase the quantity. Then once we have the item that match, we're going to call the add to cart to reuse the logic for increasing quantity. So here we're going to have add to cart function, and then we're going to pass cart item and ID. So this is going to increase the quantity of that item by adding it to cart once more. Now I'm going to copy this function here and I'm just going to paste it. I'll add it to the values that we're going to use in other parts of our application. Next is to create the function to decrease the quantity of item that we have in the cart. I'm going to name the function decrease amount. So we're going to have const decrease amount pass ID as parameter right here. Then we'll create the function. So the first step is to find the product in the cart by the ID, and we'll return the item that matches with it. So we're going to have const cart item will be equal to cart dot find. We'll pass item. Then we're going to return item dot ID that matches with the ID of the item that wants to increase the quantity. After this, we would now check if the product exists in the cart. We're going to map over the cart to update the quantity of the product. So we're going to have if cart item, then we're going to have const new carts will be equal to carts dot map pass item. Now we're checking if the current item matches with the product ID, we'll decrease its quantity. So if item dot ID equals ID, then we're going to return, open our curly braces, spread the item, comma, amounts, the cart item dot amounts minus 1. We're reducing quantity. So if cart item does not exist, if the current ID does not matches with it, with the ID, we're going to return it as it is. So here we'll use an else statement, else return the item as it is. Okay, and right here we're going to update the cart states with the updated quantities. So we're going to have set carts with new carts. Now this is if cart item exists. If the product exists in the cart, we'll use an else statement just in case it doesn't. So if the product quantity is less than 2, we want to remove it from the cart. So here we're going to have if. So we're checking if cart item dot amount is less than 2, then we're going to call the remove from cart function. We'll remove the item from cart by ID. Now that we have this function, now we're going to copy this and we're going to add it with the values that we want to use in other parts of our application. So now that we have all our functions, we're going to open the product list, and right here where we're extracting our product from our shop context, we're also going to extract the add to cart functionality from the shop context. We have add to cart here already. I've added it to the values that we're going to need. So add to carts, and right here in the button we use an on-click function to call the add to cart function. Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z. Okay, we'll call the add to cart function add to carts, and then we're going to pass the product and the ID to the function. So if the user clicks on this now, if they click on the button, the product will be added to the cart. Also, for it to reflect on our navigation bar as well, we're going to extract quantity from our shop context. So here, use context will be shop contexts. Ensure that the shop context has been imported, and also just shop context has been imported. Okay, so we're extracting quantity, and where we initialize our cart quantity with 0, we're going to have quantity here. We're going to replace this with quantity. So this is going to show the number of items that we have in the cart. For the product list, this is going to add our item to our cart page. Now let's try if this is working. If I click on add to cart, I want to believe that this product has been added to cart. So right here you can see that the quantity here is showing 0. If I reload, we have 0 right now. If I click on this item has been added to cart. You can see we have 1 item in the cart. If I click on this item has been added to cart as well. We have 2 items in the cart. If I click on this item has been added to cart. We have 3 items in the cart. But right now our cart page is still empty because we're here to write the code to display the items that we add to our cart. So now let's do that. We're going to close all of this, close navbar, close products list, and we're going to open the cart page. For our cart page, we're going to extract the cart state, the clear cart function, total and quantity in the cart page. So we're going to have const cart state, clear cart function, total price, and then quantity. Use context be shop context. So our cart basically is going to be of 2 files. We're going to have the cart itself and the cart details page. The cart details page is where we're going to display the image, the details of the product, basically the product description, the image, the title, the price, our increase and decrease controller, and then icon to remove the price and the total quantity. So we're going to have a new file. and I'm going to name it cat details.jsx. Okay, so RFC, we'll create React snippets here. We're going to come back to this later, but let's build the actual cat page. The cat details will also be in the cat page. Okay, so I'll create a div tag and I'll name it cat container. Control Z. Okay, cat container. In the cat container, we're going to have the left side of the cat and the right side of the cat. The left side is where we're going to have the details, and the right side is where we're going to have the cat summary. So, cat left and cat right. And the left side, we're going to have headers. So we'll have two headers. The first header would have this h1 tag, and it will take this text, shopping carts. Then we'll have another h1 tag, and this is going to take the quantity of items that we have. Items, we'll have a bracket, then right here we're going to have our quantity, the quantity that we're getting from our shop context to the number of items that we have in cart. Then we're going to use the trash icon as our clear cart. So here, trash, we're going to use this icon here. Let's see, I'm going to use this icon, and I'm going to use an onClick function to call the clear cart function. So here, clear cart. Also, I'll give this icon a class name, and I'm going to name it delete cart. Okay, so this is for the first header. This is supposed to be cat header, not cat header. Okay, so for the second cat header, we're going to have 4 span tags. Let me separate each of them. The first one will take product description. The second span tag will take the quantity. The third will take price. And the last one will take the total. After this div tag, we'll create another div tag, and I'm going to name it cat details. So in cat detail, we're going to map over our cat state to display our cat details. So, but first we need to check the length of the cart. If we have items in the cart, then it should display the cart details. If we do not have items on the cart, we should display that. We should display a text saying your cart is empty. So first we'll check if cart dot length is greater than 0, hit a ternary operator, then we should do this. If it is not, then we should do this. Okay, so if it is not, we should display a p tag saying your cart is empty. If it is, then we're going to display our cart details. So I'm going to mount our cart details here. This cart details that we're going to build now, we're going to mount it right here, and then we're going to pass item as props, item, and the key to individual cart item dot id. So now we're going to create our cart details. In the cart details, we need to first extract remove from carts increase amount and decrease amount function from our shop context. So we're going to have const. The best thing is to copy. So let's copy this decrease amount to avoid typographical error, comma. We also need the increase amounts, so I'm just going to come here and copy this, then paste it here, then remove from cart as well. So I'm going to copy this, remove from carts, and I'm going to paste it here as well, and this will be equals to use contexts, shop contexts. Okay, and it has been imported as well. After this, in the parameter, we're going to pass item as props because we have it right here as well. So in the cart details as well, after extracting all the functions that we need, we're going to destructure our item to have a clean code. So here, const, we destructure the ID, the title of the product, the image, the price, and the amount as well will be equal to item. Now let's build our actual cart details. So I'll create a div tag and I'll give it a class name of cart items, cart item without an S. Then I'll create another div tag with the name, product details. In the product details, we'll have our image first, and in the source, we'll replace this with image. Then we'll create a div tag with a class name of product underscore info. And the info will have the title h3 tag, yeah, and here we'll pass the title of the product to it. Also, we're going to have the cart item removal, so we're going to use the trash icon. So I'm just going to type in trash, and because I've installed React icon, React is going to suggest icons that matches with this. So right here, I'm going to be using the second icon that we have here, and I'm going to close this, and we're going to have this remove. Okay, so I want this trash icon and this remove text to be in a div tag, so I'm going to cut this, Ctrl X, and I'll create the div tag. I'll give it a class name of cart item remove, and in between the div tag I'll paste my trash icon and remove text. After this product details, we're going to have quantity, so we'll have another div tag for quantity control basically. So in the quantity control, we're going to have the increase and decrease icon. So right here, I'm going to have two buttons. In between the two buttons, we'll have a span tag to show the amount of item that we have in the cart. So amount, to show the actual amount for the products. So for the first button, we're going to use the remove icon. So I'm going to type in remove. So these are a list of icons that matches with remove. So I'm going to be using this icon here, and I'll close this. And for the second button, this is to increase, so I'm going to use the add icon. So right here, we're going to use this icon. Let's see, there's a lot of icon here. I'm just going to type in the icon I want to use, IOMD add. Okay, I'm going to be using this icon right here. Okay, now if the user clicks on the button, we want to ensure that we call the decrease amount function. So here we use an onClick method to call the decrease amount function, and we'll pass ID to it. Okay, and for this button as well, we'll call the increase amount function, and we'll pass the ID as well. Then after this div tag, we'll now have the item price and the total amount. So we'll have the div tag for price, we'll have a $sign, have our curly braces, then we'll pass price. Then we'll have our total price as well, dot total. So for the total price, I'll use the backtick. So we'll have $sign, then another $sign. We'll convert the number past float to a floating point number. Then to get the total price, it's going to be price times amount. That's the price times the number of quantity that we have, the quantity of items that we have, dot to fixed. So it should be in 2 decimal points. Okay, so this is what we have in our cart details. and right here we're mounting our cart details right here. Okay, now let's build our cart summary that will be on the right side on the cart page. So for this, we'll have an h2 tag, and here we'll have cart summary. After this h2 tag, we're going to have our summary item. So first div tag here, dot cart dot summary item underscore item. We'll have two span tags for this. The first one will take the number of items, and the second span tag that we have here will take the quantity, the total quantity of items that we have. After this, we'll now have a div tag, the class name of cart summary. In cart summary, we'll have 4 summary item. So here dot summary underscore item multiplied by 4. The first one would be for subtotal, so we'll have two span tags for subtotal. So here subtotal, then we'll have our $sign for our subtotal. So we're going to check if it is not a number. We use a ternary operator to check if the subtotal is not if the total is not a number. We use ternary operator, then it should display 0. If it is a number, oh come on, what is this? Okay, if it is not a number, it should display 0. If it is a number, it should display the total. Okay. Now for the second summary item will be for the shipping fee. So we'll have 2 more span tags. The first one, okay, so the first span tag here would be shipping, and here is going to be free. Then the third one, okay, we're going to need 3, so I'm going to delete this. The third one right here will be for our total, so we'll have 2 span tags as well. The first span tag will be total costs, and right here it's going to be the same as this. So I'm just going to come right here, copy this, and then paste it here. Okay. Okay, so this is what we have now. Now for the total, we want to ensure that it's bolder, so I'm going to add another class name, total cost, so that we can style it differently. So this is what we have in the carts. Okay, so there's something that we need to correct. I said earlier that we're going to map over our cart dates, then display the cart's details. So we didn't do that. So right here, I'm going to cut this, Ctrl X. Okay, so we're going to have cart dot map, then we'll pass item. Okay, then inside this is where we're now going to paste this, and also we need to import our cart details. Okay, so we didn't import it here. We need to import cart details. So now let's see what we've done so far. This is all our product, right? If we click on this cart icon, you're going to see we have shopping carts. Number of items right now is 0. This is the icon to clear the entire cart. This is our product description, quantity, price, total. Right now it's showing us that our cart is empty. This is for cart summary on the right side. Item, subtotal, shipping fee is free, total costs, and this is our footer right here. So I'm going to add this item to cart, and I'm going to add this lovely item to cart as well. If I click on the cart page, you can see we have 2 items in the cart. This is the image, this is the name of the item, this is the icon to remove, this is the increase. As you can see, the price is increasing. Okay, the price is $45, the total price is 90 because we just increased it. This is another item that we've added to cart. can see now item is 2, subtotal is $90, shipping is free, total cost is $90. If I increase this now, the total cost is going to be $135 and the item is going to be 3 because this item here has been increased to 2, the quantity has been increased to 2 and the price has changed to 90. The other one, this one here, the price is 45. So if you sum up 45 plus $90, it will give you $135. So this is working perfectly well. Now let's style. So now let's style our card. So first we need to import our CSS file into our JSX file. So cards.css. Then we'll open our cards.css. We'll start with the cards container that we have here. I'll copy this and then I'm going to paste it right here. Display will be set to flex. Justify content, space between, padding of 20 pixels. Then we have the cut left. For the cut left, you set the width to take 65% of the entire screen. Background color should be white. We'll set the padding of 20 pixels. Then we have the cut right. So let's just style the cut right at once. So for the cut right, the width should take 30% of the screen. We'll have a background color of this color code. Padding will take 20 pixels and then we'll set the border radius to 10 pixels. Then we have our cut header right here. So for the cut header, dot cut header, so display here will be flex, justify content, space between, and then we'll have margin top of 20 pixels. The font width, we set it to bold. Then we have the delete cards here. So we're going to style this delete card as well. So dot cut header dot delete cards. I'm going to set the font size to 22 pixels. Then we have the span tag here. So dot cut header span. We'll set the font size of this to 20 pixels. Font size 20 pixels and the margin left will be 90 pixels. Then we have the cut detail here where we are mounting our cut detail. So let's start with the cut details. We'll start with the cut item. I'm going to paste that right here. For the cut item, display will be flex as well. Justify content, space between, align items at the center. Then we'll have margin top of 20 pixels, padding of 10 pixels, 0. Then border bottom will be 1 pixel solid with this color code. And we have our product details here. So we'll copy this and I'm going to paste it right here. For product details, display will be flex, justify content, space between, align items at the center, and the max width will take 50%. Then we have image. So right here, dot product details image. We set the width to 60 pixels. The height will take 60 pixels as well. Margin right will take 20 pixels. Then we'll have our product info as well. We're going to style this. So I'm going to copy this and I'll come paste this right here. For product info, we'll start by styling the H3 tag. So here, H3. For the H3 tag, we'll have our margin. We'll set it to 0. And then I'll set the font size to 18 pixels. Then we have the P tag. So for the P tag, I'll set the color to this color code. And we'll set the margin as well to 5 pixels, 0. Then we have the button. Let's see. Okay, after this H3 tag, okay, so we don't have any button here. I'm just going to delete this. So the next thing that I want to style now is this quantity here. I'm going to copy this, the quantity control. So we're going to have dots quantity, display reflex, align items at the center. Then we have the quantity button. So here, dot quantity button. So for the two buttons, we're going to set the width to 30 pixels. The height as well, we'll take 30 pixels. Background color, we'll take this color code. Border will be none. We'll set the cursor to pointer, and then the display will be flex. Align the items at the center. Justify content center as well. Then the font size will take 18 pixels. Then we have the span tag right here. So we're going to have the quantity span. We'll set the margin 0, 10 pixels. After this, we have the price and total. So dot price, comma, dot total. We'll set the font size of this as well to 16 pixels. And the color, we'll take this color code. So after this now, then we can now continue styling our cart page. So cart, the right section of the cart. We have the H2 tag. We'll start with the H2 tag. The font size, we take 24 pixels. The margin bottom, we take 20 pixels. Okay, and we have the summary item. So after this total cost that we have here, we need a button as well. So right here, we should have a button. Dot checkouts button, and we're going to give it checkout. Okay, let's continue styling. So we're styling the summary item next. So right here, summary item display, set this to flex, justify content, space between, margin bottom, we take 10 pixels. Then for the total cost, the summary item dot total cost, we have total cost right here. I'm going to copy paste it and copy this. Then the font width will be bold, and the font size will be 17 pixels. Then we have the checkout button here that we just created now. So for our checkout button, the width we take 100%. Then we're going to have padding of 15 pixels. Background color, take this color code. And the text color will be white. We set the border to none. Cursor will be set to pointer. Margin top will take 20 pixels. So this is what we have built now. This is what we have now. This is shopping cart, number of items. This to clear the entire cart. Product description, quantity, price, total. This is the name of the product, the image of the product, the icon to remove, the quantity control to increase and to decrease. Okay, this is the total price. If you increase this now, you can see that the total price has changed. It's the same thing here. If I increase this, the total price has changed. If I increase as well, then on the right side we have the cart summary. This is number of items that we have in cart. Subtotal $270. Shipping is free, and the total cost is $270. And we have a checkout button right here. So this is our entire cart. If I click on this now, you can see that we're getting a message our cart is empty. So we'll go to the home page and add more to the carts. So we're just adding randomly. Now we have 7 items in our cart. You can see this is all we have in the cart. The price is reflecting 45 in 7 places will give us $315. If I increase, we'll have $360. Okay, so we can remove from the cart. Okay, we're here to include the function here, so let's do that. So right here, where do we have the icon? Okay, we have the icon here. We're going to use an unclick function to call the remove from carts, this function here. Then we're going to pass the ID of the specific item that we want to remove. So now if I click on this, now that product has been removed. If I click on this, you can see that it's reducing here as well. If I click on this, we have just 4 items in our carts. Okay, so back to our home page. The next thing that we're going to work on now is building our product details page, such that when the user clicks on the image or the name of the product, it's going to lead them to the product details page. So let's say we click on this image, we should see the detail of the products, which is going to include the image of the product and few details about the product, and also an action button to add the items to cart. So let's build that. So now we're going to close everything relating to cart, shop context as well, close our components, and we're going to open the product details page. So in the product details page, first we need to extract the add to cart function from our shop context. Const add to carts be equals to use context shop context, and we need to import our shop context as well. So we're going to import shop context from dot forward slash on page dot forward slash components slash shop context. Okay, and after this as well, we need to import the product data that we want to use. So we're going to import product data from our data file. Also, we need to import use params from React Router DOM, because we're going to be using parameters. We're going to have dynamic URL parameters here. Okay, so we're going to do that. Import use params from React Router DOM. So after all of this, the first step is to get the ID of the product that we want to view, I want to check the details of. So we're going to use params for that. ID equals to use params. Then we'll get the product based on the ID. So here we're going to have const product be equal to product data dot find method to find the product. So we'll have product, then open our curly braces right here. Then we'll return product that matches with the product that we're finding. Product.id that matches with our ID, and we need to convert the ID to an integer just in case if it is not ID. So now that we have all of this logic, we can now build our product details page. So our first div tag would be product details container. In the product details container, we'll have 2 sides, the left and the right side. Dot product dot details left and details right. So dot details right. In the left details, we're going to have the image, and for the image, we're going to replace this with product dot image. Then for the right section, we're going to have an h3 tag for our title, product dot title. Then we'll have 2 p tags for the price and description. So $, products dot price. Second p tag will be products dot description, and each of these p tag will have a class name. So here this is going to take product underscore price, and this is going to take products underscore description. After these 2 p tags, we're going to have our button. that would say add to cart, and in the button we use an on-click method to call our add to cart function. So right here, add to cart, and we're going to pass products, comma, ID, so that we can add this specific product to cart. Okay, so this is what we have. So now if we check our page, you can see we have the image of the product and we have the description of the product. So let's check for other ones as well. Let's say we want to check for this. You can see we have the image, we have the description. Back to the home page, let's say we want to check for this as well. We have the image, we have the description. Now let's style, and you can see that the URL is changing as well. So now let's style. We've imported our product details, the CSS. So I'm just going to open product details, the CSS. We start by styling from here, product details. I'm going to copy this, and then I'll come paste it right here. Display. Set this to flex. What the padding of 80 pixels. Then we'll start with the left image. So product details, left, the image, we set the width to 460 pixels. Then we'll head over to the right section. For the right section, we'll have padding of 70 pixels. In the right section, we have an H3 tag. So H3, we'll set the font size to 30 pixels. Then we have our product price. I'll copy this. That's details right. That's product price. We're going to set the font size to 22 pixels. The color to red, and we'll have a margin top of 10 pixels. Then we have the description, so I'm just going to come here and copy it. Dot details right dot description. We'll set the font size of this as well to 20 pixels. We'll set the color code to this color code, and we'll set the margin top to 15 pixels. Then we'll have the details right, the button. We'll set padding 1 rem for the height, 3 rem for the width. Margin top of this will take 15 pixels. Then we'll have border, set it as none. Background color will take red, and the text color should be white. Okay, let's see. This is what we have now. If I click on this, you can see this has been added to carts. Back to our own page. Let's say we want to view this beautiful one. You can see what we have. Add it to carts, and you can see here that it has been added to carts. So now the next thing that we need to build is our footer section. Okay, so I'm going to close our product details. Close this, then open the component, open our footer folder, and we'll start building the footer section. So we'll have a div tag with the custom footer. That is the first step. Then I'm going to have another div tag for footer contents and footer socials. So that's footer underscore socials. In footer content, we'll have our footer content will have the footer name and footer socials. So I'm going to cut this. This would be in footer socials, okay, and footer name. Okay, so it is after this footer contents that we'll now have the copyright section, the footer copy. Okay, so for the footer name now, we're going to have an H2 tag, shop X. Then for our footer social, we'll have our social media icon. So I'm just going to type in Facebook, and React is going to suggest a list of icons that matches with this word Facebook. So it's currently loading, and here it is. I'm going to choose the first one. Then also I'll type in Instagram, and I'm going to use the first one. Then we're going to have Twitter. now known as X. So React is going to suggest for me. So I'll use the second one right here. And for each of this icon, I'll give them a class name of footer icon. Footer underscore icon. So I'm going to copy this now. And I'll come paste it right here. Paste this here as well. Now for the copyright section, footer. Okay. For the copyright section, we'll have a p tag. And it's going to take this text. Okay, let's see. Now, this is the footer that we have. Now let's style this. So first, we need to import our CSS file into our JSX file. So we'll come here, dot footer. I'll copy this footer here. Dot footer. The background color will be this color code. The text color will be white. I will have a padding bottom of 3 rem. Then we have the footer content. Okay, so footer content, display reflex, justify content, space between. We'll have a padding of 30 pixels. And we'll have border bottom, 3 pixel. We use 2 pixel solid and this color code. Then we have the footer socials, the icon basically. So I'm just going to copy this icon here. And right here, we're going to have font size to be 22 pixels, and we'll have margin left of 10 pixels. Then we have the copyright section as well. So for footer copy, text align, center, padding will take 15 pixels. So this is the footer that we have now at the end of the day, looking all good. Okay, so this is the end of this tutorial. We have our navbar, our hero section, product display. We can add to cart, remove from cart, delete the entire cart. We can view our product details. We can add items to cart. We can view the items in the cart. Back to the home page, you can add as many items as possible to our carts. Right now we have 7 items in the cart. We can increase, we can decrease, we can increase, we can remove from the carts, and the product will be removed instantly. We can remove from the carts, we can delete the entire carts. Back to our own page. So every single thing is working. So guys, do not forget to like, subscribe, share this video to the people that you feel like this video will be very helpful to. And don't forget to drop a comment on what you think of this project and what you want me to build next as well. Please do not forget to hit the subscribe button. And please go through the description box so that you can have access to the images. I'll be providing the images in the description box. Thank you so much for watching. See you on the next one. Bye.